Freestyle anime. Freestyle what? Freestyle freestyle anime. Yeah, Demon Slayer, I'ma catch him, dog. Freestyling every time we talk. 1 piece away from fortune and fame. Can't switch up on that game, that's my ninja way. Ain't doing that talking, we got more to say. Write your name in my book, that'll seal your fate. Better hit up Deku, hope he say the day. Better hit up Deku, hope he say the day. Freestyling about anime. Every day, freestyling about anime. Every day.
Freestyle Anime Podcast back here again, day 2 at GalaxyCon. All right, as you can see, we got a new hot take on the board. Endeavor is a good dad. So you've heard my takes on this a couple of times, so I want y'all to come up to the plate to let me know whether you agree, disagree on this take, what your stance is on it. And we got our first guest right here coming to give me a piece of his mind. So go on ahead, my friend. What's your thoughts on this?
Saying Endeavor's a good dad is like, just because he turned good in the end doesn't get rid of like, oh, he literally mentally, physically abused all his children. That man's on the same level as Fire Lord Ozai, in my opinion.
Whoa.
Maybe even worse.
Ozai. No way. No, the mass murderer? No, he is not.
Okay, maybe get rid of...
I'm letting you finish your take. And then
family-wise, but like, psychology, he literally mentally abused all of his kids and then only put one up on a pedestal because he had fire and ice, and he only married his wife. He basically, like, I don't want to say but like sort of forced marriage.
What?
Just so he could get ice.
Marriage?
No,
absolutely.
And he wouldn't let her go, and she couldn't get a divorce because he was the second most powerful hero, and he pulled strings. I bet. I think he's just not a good person.
See, no. Now you're adding headcanon into it. Like, I feel like he did these things too.
The thing is, why wouldn't she leave him though? Oh, sorry for cutting you off.
Excellent question. My opinion, I think Ray is a way worse mother than Endeavor is a bad father. Let's open that bag of worms there. Because again, let's look at this, right? So yes, it was an arranged marriage. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to argue whether Endeavor did or did not do bad things in the past. He definitely did.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're nearly as bad as a lot of people like assume it to be. With that arranged marriage, yes, he wanted to have a kid who was better. Why? Because he saw what happened with his father, right? We know how his father died burning himself to death. And he's like, hey, I know the issues of having this quirk. When I have my kids, I want them to be better. And yes, his ego was kind of mixed in with it too, but the origins of it was from a place of him wanting his kids to be self-sustainable. So I can say at least the core of it, I feel like was justified, right? Now, when we get into the actual relationship, his wife was extremely neglectful. Extremely so. Look at Toya. Look at how she treated Toya.
True.
Because Endeavor, yes, he wanted his son to be a hero. Every parent, especially back in the My Hero, would want their kid to be a hero. When he turned 4 and his quirk actually awakened, what did Endeavor do? Please stop. If you look at the dialogue, the conversations he has with Toya, he is pleading with him. He's like, I'm trying to help you. Go make friends. Hang out with your siblings. Like, go live your life. You don't need to follow my footsteps. He did everything he could to take the pressure off of him. And what was the only thing he asked his wife to do? Because he was busy being a hero also.
Yeah.
Legitimately so. He said, hey, please watch Toya stop him from hurting himself. Every day he comes home, new burns, new bruises, new issues. He says, watch him. I don't think that's super crazy. And you see how the dynamic is with Toya and her. Toya just straight up like insults her, curses her out, and says, you only dated dad because you wanted the money. And then what happened? She silenced right there.
Yeah.
She wanted the money. So again, I'm saying, I don't think it's fair to hold all that stuff, at least that portion of it, against Endeavor.
All right, counter rebuttal to a bunch of
Okay, go ahead.
With wanting the money, she was already forced into an arranged marriage, so it best be to somebody rich. Like,
her family was notable, but they were destitute essentially. They had lost their
they
wealth
lost their whole estate, right? If I remember.
Something like that.
They were broke. That's all I remember.
Yes.
And he basically like sort of savior complex, pulled her from the rubble.
Sort of a savior complex, because they were still notable enough. But he was just like, hey, help me out. But I also feel like that for the mom,
Endeavor was a abusive husband. Like yes, he was. He would just be like, "Why aren't you doing this? You're useless," or just forcing her to do everything with the kids. It's an equal part. You know what I mean? Don't worry, he has the hero business, but you're a parent first, in my opinion. No matter.
To a certain extent, 'cause I'm saying, like, say you have a police officer, right? Not even better than that. Say somebody's in the military.
Yeah.
And they need to go off to do stuff in the military. I don't think you would look at them and be like, wow, you're not at home, you're a bad dad. I'd be like, well, he's off serving his people, right? He's saving people's lives, putting his life at risk every single day. I feel like that's justifiable, at least. You can argue whether he's neglectful. I could maybe give you some of those aspects.
I would say it's only in that aspect. The reason I'm saying that is because Toya was hurting himself. The wife doesn't know how to handle a fire court. What is she gonna do? Freeze him in a block of ice until the dad comes home? It's not her court. Endeavor knows everything.
I mean, low key, would that not work though?
It would. But like,
I think she had the direct counter quirk
but
to his ability.
Okay, how traumatic would that be though for the kid? Like even more. Like, oh, yo, you're lighting yourself on fire. You're just stuck in a block of ice for 12 hours.
Okay, she doesn't need to leave it there for 12 hours. But all I'm saying is she can at least make sure she's there with him to stop him from actively hurting himself.
And like actually just put a stop to it. I get you.
Yeah, and then because of her messed up relationship with Toya led to her injuring Shoto.
Yeah.
Because she saw Endeavor and Toya and all this stuff mixed up in her head and she just lashed out at her child.
Yeah.
And another thing is too, this is a common misconception I see online, where people say Endeavor put his wife in the hospital. Yes, he did, but on a purely literal sense, he admitted her into a hospital.
It's like
he didn't
putting in
hurt
a
her.
mental hospital.
Exactly. He didn't hurt her and caused her to be in a hospital. So I just wanted to clarify that too.
I feel like his actions partly did though. Don't realize she definitely had other stuff wrong with her, but you don't get to that state of where you're getting put in a mental hospital and you're going crazy, you attack your own children, just from your kids and that. There's other factors, you know what I mean? I think it boils down to Endeavor. She wasn't happy with Endeavor and the whole marriage, and they never did anything to solve that. Like you can see the relationship is fractured until the final season.
That is true.
So I don't think there was any mending, no couples counseling.
No, there never wasn't.
So she was just sitting there stooping in her own anger, her own craziness, and like, oh, it's like the classic mom who gets abused by her husband. I'm gonna take it out on my kids because I have no power over my own life.
I'll give you that.
So I think that sort of vibe.
Because they used to argue and talk and have issues, but they did at least before Shoto was born.
Yeah.
They did at least have those conversations you get to see on panel. Like you see, there's this one moment. Actually, I can pull up the panel here. I got the receipt saved. All right, just to make sure I could present some of these here.
I also think Shoto being born made Endeavor's ego come out way more because he saw he finally had a chance to beat All Might and have somebody be the number one hero.
No, because
like you finally got the thing you were going for. You're not gonna go a little crazy.
To an extent, yeah. I definitely think when Shoto was born, he saw his ideal realized in a sense, right?
Yeah.
So it made him like really just, I need to dive all in on him. And also the other aspect a lot of people forget too is the reason he even had Shoto, because he wasn't gonna have any more kids.
Yeah.
But he was just like, I don't know how to get Toya to stop hurting himself because Ray's not doing it. I'm not here all the time.
Yeah.
I talked to him. There's nothing, what else could he really do? No. So he's just like, maybe if I have another kid, and that kid is able to fill this role, he'll just give up on the idea and he'll go live a normal life. Yeah. Okay, a little bit of flawed logic. I can't really defend the logic all too much. Yeah. But at the very least, I can kind of at least see where he's coming from, right?
Like have another kid to maybe help the other kid, but it's not the kid's job, but like that's just Endeavor both of them being bad parents.
He's at his wit's end. He's at his wit's end. So all I'm saying is, I'll concede that he made a lot of bad decisions, but I don't think it's fair to call him a bad dad altogether, and especially with the growth that he's been on since then, to see, hey, I messed up here, I did these things wrong, and he's trying to reconcile with his family, apologizing, spending more time with them. I think at this point now, especially where the story is now, I would call him a good father.
I agree. I agree he is a good father, but I don't like just like, you can't get rid of like the things he did in the past just because he's good now.
Fair enough.
It's like when the parents like would hit you back in the day, and they'd be like, "I never did that," or "I would never do that to you." You're like, we know you did. You're just gaslighting us.
Too relatable.
Like,
but all right, man.
So I just feel like he still did those things, and all of them were just toxic and in a bad headspace for one another. But I think he's a good dad now. But if we look at his whole, like, even him in season 1 and 2, bad dad in my opinion.
All right.
And season 3, like I read the manga too.
No, for sure, yeah. But I feel like we got a decent common ground.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think, of course. Do you agree more with me, more with him? Do you think it's a little bit nuanced? Do you have your own particular take on it? Let us know. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it, man.
Nice.
Thank you. Good stuff.
This is Dobby, and I absolutely do not agree with this. Now back to FSAP's episode.
So we are back again with our second guest here to give her opinion on our hot take. Endeavor is a good dad. So I'll let you take the field first. What is your take?
Okay, I don't think he's a good dad at all. He abused his children a lot, and he sent his wife to a mental hospital.
Okay. Did she not deserve to go to a mental hospital?
I'm not saying she did not deserve to go to mental hospital, but still, he kind of insinuated to her going into that mental hospital.
He admitted her to the hospital because she had just poured boiling water on their son's face. That's not something a normal person does.
I'm not saying what she did was right, obviously. Like, that woman does need to go to mental hospital. But the way he abused his wife and children was not...
I'm not saying that Endeavor was a perfect dad by any means. He made a lot of mistakes. And I think he used to be a bad dad. But I think a lot of the stuff that he did early on, he learned from and grew from, or there were at least underlying reasons that never get taken into account. Like one thing, for example, like with the whole pork marriage, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but this purpose behind that was because the way his dad died, Endeavor's father died, was he burned himself to death. So I can see in his head where he's just like, hey, I need to fix this, right? Like I want my kids to have a better opportunity than how my father ended up passing away.
I mean, that is a good point. I will give it that. But his son turned out to be a villain at the end of this.
Toya was insane. I don't know what else could Endeavor have done. Like, how would you have had managed Toya?
I think he could have put it more delicately.
Well, I think he was. You know what? I actually have the panel for this. We're going to pull this up on screen so you guys can see it as well. But let's look at when Endeavor is talking to Toya. Look how he's talking to him. He kneels down to his son and he says, Toya, you have to look beyond all this. Referring to himself, he says, look beyond me and becoming a hero. Play with your brothers. Make some friends at school. There's a whole other world besides this hero stuff. I know you understand that. Is that not an actual heartwarming speech? He's trying to...
All right, I'll give it that.
I feel like Endeavor did what he could, but what was Ray doing? Like, I understand they did not have the best relationship. They were very toxic for each other. But Ray did not help Toya at all. At all. Like, the little bit of pushback that she gave, Toya said, you just are with Dad for his money anyways. So I'm gonna go do whatever I want. And then she just shut down. And then he just went off and kept hurting himself.
All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. That is actually a really valid reason.
So I appreciate your open-mindedness, because I know that does sound kind of crazy. I like to be a little bit extreme, but all I'm saying is I don't think Endeavor is nearly as bad as people say. It's my main point. Especially...
I'm not saying he's the worst dad. I have seen bad dads in anime. There is a lot, people. I am talking about one in particular, which is not... Now you're putting me on spot, because I remember this... Shao Tucker. Shao Tucker is the worst dad.
You'd be hard pressed to find a worse dad than Shao Tucker.
Yeah.
He pretty much was just like, you know what? Not only am I going to sacrifice my wife,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
sacrifice my daughter and my dog
for this job.
Yeah.
And he just treated it like it was just another Tuesday. He's just like, oh, I did what I had to do. What? And then especially contrast with Hughes, where Hughes is one of the best dads, but he loves his daughter so much.
Oh no, yeah, exactly.
So you get both of them right there in the same arc there.
Yeah.
So understand.
Yeah.
No, but I do appreciate you stopping on by to get your
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we're gonna see if anybody else can change my mind, because I'm willing to be persuaded. So thank you so much.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it.
You're a fake.
An imposter!
We're back again. Guest number 3 here to try and change my mind on my hot take here. Endeavor is a good dad. What is your opinion on this? From My Hero Academia.
I never watched that.
You haven't seen it?
Oh, he's the father of the Reddit.
Yes, him.
Okay, so
So what do you know about him?
I'm pretty sure he beat his kid. He physically abused him.
So, don't get me wrong, that is an aspect of it. I will say, I don't think, this is gonna sound crazy. I don't think the physical abuse is as crazy as maybe people make it out to be, because what he was doing, he was training him. He's being very forceful with it. I'm not trying to defend that. I'm not trying to defend that. Which one? Oh, Shoto?
Yeah, the oldest son.
Oh, the oldest one. Oh,
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Toya. I've already ribbed Toya a new one, bro. He is insane. He is insane, bro. Toya, a little menace, a little gremlin. Endeavor did everything he could to help Toya.
So one thing that I see a flaw in, he's trying to make his sons, he's trying to make him do what he wants, but a good father would try to make him, he would try to give him the freedom of making them choose their own dream. His father did not let him do that.
To a certain extent, but realistically, for his other 3 kids, they didn't want to become heroes. Sorry, other 2 kids. Toya wanted to become a hero, but he told them not to because he was hurting himself. The other 2 kids, they didn't want to become heroes. Endeavor did not try to force them to become heroes. It was only really Todoroki, that he was trying to push to become a hero, right? And that's mostly because he literally has a perfect quirk for it. His quirk, Fire and Ice, is like, it's made for being a hero, darn near. Like, he can never, overtax himself because of it. So I can see, he's just like, hey, you're the only one who can surpass me. You have all these abilities. Just like if you have a kid, and they were just like, bro, they got the perfect, athleticism to become, a D1 athlete. And as a parent with a child, you're like, bro, you're not wasting that. I'm sure you can see a parent be like, no, you're gonna play football. And yes, they can be harsh. I'm not saying that they're the best, but I don't necessarily call that kind of parent bad inherently. So, and I feel like Endeavor falls in that same kind of bucket, you know? He's like a really overzealous sports dad.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it. That's my take on it.
I have one final argument.
All right, go ahead.
So a good father would have their sons look up to him.
That's true. That is true. I mean, you kind of got me there. All these kids do hate him. But I mean, Shoto's at least willing to give him another chance at this point.
Yeah, but he had a lot of other sons, and that's a rarity, you know.
Yeah.
He's just trying to be nice.
Yeah, Natsu's the main one that's really against him. But Natsu's main argument against Endeavor is that he was neglected. Which is true. He didn't really pay attention to him.
Yeah.
So it always reminds me of that one scene from, I'm not sure if you've ever seen Lego Ninja Go, where Lloyd is like, he's talking to his dad, he's like, you ruined my life. And his dad's like, how could I ruin your life? I wasn't even there for it. So I'm just like, his argument is that he didn't do anything to him. So I don't know.
Wait, that's also a bad thing, because neglect is a bad thing for a father to do. And that's why he's a bad dad.
All right, I mean, that aspect, yes, I'll give you that. But he's not neglectful anymore. He's doing better now.
I'd say
we'll see.
It's when a kid is at its youngest ages is the most important time for a dad to show up and be there. And he didn't do that. He didn't help and add to their learning, their love. He didn't do all that.
Well, I'll say specifically from the ages of 1 to 4, he definitely was, because before the quirk manifested. So he was definitely with Toya. That's why Toya was so convinced he wanted to become a hero, because from those early ages, his father was right there with him, telling him, hey, you can do this. I believe in you. Da, da, da. And then when his quirk manifested, and he found out, hey, it's hurting him. Oh no, you can't use your quirk anymore. But at that point, he'd already had this imprinted in his head that he wanted to be a hero, so he wouldn't give it up. And that's when he kept hurting himself. No matter how much Endeavor tried to convince him to stop, he just wouldn't stop. So it's like he invested in his son maybe a little too much. And I can see that maybe being a reason why he's like, okay, let me not repeat those same mistakes with my other kids. And he kind of stepped way back. So I can at least see the justification there, maybe. But that's more headcanon than really facts, so I can't really say for sure.
I mean, low-key, I never even watched it, but that's all I know about it.
You still did a really good job for never seeing the show, so let that be a factor at least. So good stuff, man. I appreciate you stopping on through. All right. guests here again to give their opinion on our hot take board. So as you can see, Endeavor's a good dad. What's your opinion on that statement?
In my opinion, I don't really think so.
Why not?
Because the way how he was mainly treating his kids and all of that, like, he forced his wife to have multiple kids because of the main kid wasn't like the right ideal for him.
I don't know if I would say forced. At least I don't see any implication that it's forced.
Yeah, but I could see the wife getting like really tired of having the kids many times. So that kind of seemed like he was kind of pushing pressure onto her. Like, that's what I could sense.
That makes sense. I mean, I can't necessarily speak to it because it's not like we were in their heads per se. We only get so
Yeah.
much info. But I will say, like, from at least how we understand it, not to, I forget his sister's name.
Oh, Fiumi?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But him and Shoto, they all have a fairly good relationship with their mother,
Yeah.
at least before, everything went down. So, to me, I guess the implication there feels like at least the relationship was healthy.
Yeah.
So the dynamic doesn't seem super toxic in that regard.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I don't know. But my reasoning for this is I feel like Endeavor gets a lot of slack for a lot of the mistakes he made, and he did make a lot of mistakes, don't get me wrong. But I do feel like he owned up to all his mistakes, he grew as a person, and he's doing much better now as a father too. I feel like he's redeemed himself in essence.
Yeah.
Because Toya, what people view as his largest mistake, right? And you caught up with the manga? No, it's fine.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you said what?
So you caught up with the manga?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But with Toya, I feel like Endeavor did everything he possibly could to dissuade him from hurting himself even more. He got down on his knees, spoke to him like his son, and said, please stop hurting yourself, right? Yeah, this is killing you. Like, there's a world outside of this hero stuff. Go make friends at school.
Yeah.
Hang out with your siblings. Like, I don't know what more Endeavor could have really done for Toya, realistically. And outside of that, with Natsu and Fuji, like, he was neglectful. I can't even lie. Like, he did not really participate in their lives once he kind of came to the understanding that quirks weren't really able to be successful in hero work, right?
Yeah.
Which again, a little bit messed up. But what I equate this to is like if you have like a sports dad, right? And you have like somebody who's like, he maybe used to be like an athlete, and he's like, hey, my kids are also gonna be athletes, right? But now maybe his first son like is not able to do it properly, his other kids just aren't built for it, and he finally gets a son who is just like, you're going to be the number one basketball player, right? And then he maybe goes a little bit too hard. Maybe not a lot of it too hard, right? I don't know if I'd necessarily just completely blacklist him. You could never redeem yourself from that point, which is, I feel like a lot of people do Endeavor. And I feel like he's done what he can to redeem himself. You think that's fair? Or do you, hey, don't need pressure. You still disagree.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of growing at the end of what I've seen, but that still doesn't give him like the excuse for how he acted in the beginning, because he should have been like more different about it instead of more like aggressive.
Gotcha.
Because that's how I see it.
Fair enough. Do you think he can be redeemed? Or do you think it's too far gone?
I would say maybe there's like a 2% chance if he really pushes himself to be like better, but that's up to him if he wants to like be a better dad. But I would say maybe 2%.
All right, fair enough. 2's my favorite number, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for
Yeah.
giving your opinion.
Thank
Yeah, I
you.
really appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you in the next one. For the hot seat, special guest, man, the myth, the legend himself, Rico.
Me, homie.
All right.
I disagree with this wholeheartedly.
Why do you disagree?
When you have kids that hate you, this is known as an athlete, right? When you have kids that let you know on an emotional level which you wasn't and didn't, was there for them, you're a bad dad. Women, hold on.
Go ahead.
Your wife is in the hospital, and your kids don't even want to be in the same room with you.
Come on, bro. As soon, somewhere, somehow, even Endeavor accepted accountability to how bad of a father he was. You just won't accept it.
You see the key word there? Was, all right? You see the key word on here? Is, current. How he is doing currently. I'm not saying that he didn't do bad things or was not a bad dad. What I'm saying is I feel like he's done more than enough to redeem himself for what he did do wrong.
I don't think he's done enough yet.
He stepped up, he showed accountability.
Hold on, brother. You ain't gotta yell at me. I'm right here. But go ahead.
No, I'm just saying he owned up to his mistakes.
Yeah.
He accepted responsibility. He reconciled with his wife. He reconciled with the two sons that he really had the biggest issues with.
Still hate him.
Yeah, he still does, but he's still willing to give him a chance by the end of the series.
Yeah, he still can't get over how shitty of a dad he was.
His daughter got over it. His daughter was just like, yeah, and she was actually going to bat for him to the other son.
Because that's daddy's little girl. Daddy's little girl.
Oh, come on, bro. Oh, my gosh, bro. We go playing the experience card. That's crazy.
But no, I just feel like even with not Shoto, Dabi. With Dabi alone, he drove Dabi so far to the point where Dabi was obsessed with what his dad was trying to do.
I will stand by this, bro.
And then on top of that, right?
Okay, let me let you finish.
He couldn't come to terms with his own failure. What was his failure? Surpassing All Might. What did he try to do? Put that on his kids. And that's what led him to being a bad father. You couldn't get it done, so you try to raise your seed. He saw his kids nothing as tools.
All right, let me at least go in order here. Let's start with Toya again, bro. I will die on this hill. Toya was an insane child who Endeavor did everything in his power to raise, to be normal, to help, to reconcile. Yes, he did.
He egged that on.
How? How did he egg it on?
With Toya having him get stronger and stronger, when he finally saw it, it was already too late.
No. So, for the first couple of years, right?
Yeah.
From like 1 to 5, his quirk didn't even manifest, right?
Okay.
Around like maybe 4 or something years old, it manifests. He starts trying to figure it out. He's like, oh, this is stronger than mine. It's hurting him.
Yeah.
Stop. Immediately, he was just like, you cannot do this anymore. We cannot train anymore. You cannot do this. And knowing it, how's that his fault? How's that his fault?
That's his seed.
How would, bro, he can't blame him for something he can't even control. He can't even control that.
That's his bloodline.
No, but he, again, and I showed the other girl the manga panel early. You guys saw the manga panel. You know it, right?
Got his manga panel.
He sat down, went to his son and said, please, you cannot keep pursuing this path. You're hurting yourself. There's other stuff for you. Go hang out with your siblings. Make friends at school. There's a wider world for you outside of this.
He himself, Dabi himself, felt that was probably a failure to his dad, knowing what his dad wanted.
So what could Endeavor have done? What should he have done differently in that?
He nourished his child.
He did.
Nah.
Wait.
And then he still, it's not like once that happened to Dabi, it's not like that wasn't the pivotal point where he's like, I gotta change my ways. Did he not keep continuing to pursue and trying to separate Shoto from everybody else as well?
Yeah, but he explains that because specifically.
Okay, but but what I'm saying is,
let me respond.
Even after that happened, he still pursued his ways. But go ahead.
No, but I'm saying that was specifically because of Toya. Because the implication is that Endeavor wasn't really gonna have any other kids. Because he was kind of giving up on them. He said, bro, I keep talking to this kid. I don't know what else to do. I'm at my wit's end. He's not listening. He's still hurting himself. What more can I do? The only other course of action, being at his wit's end again, was like, if I have another kid that can do what I'm trying to do, maybe that'll make Toya give up on this. Because otherwise he's gonna kill himself.
It sounds like you have to come to terms with this, right? You're feeling Endeavor's emotional problems.
What are you talking about, bro?
You're about to bust out a bang.
But am I wrong, though?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Because, again, he did everything he could. He had Shoto to try and help Toya.
What I'm saying is, he led him to that path. It's something like, okay, if I introduce my son to football, who introduced him to football first?
You did.
Okay, now.
But when he's a kid, right? Before he can even start playing.
Yes. But I'm having him and I'm showing him intense workouts and what to do when he can reach. Then he hurt himself. Then I try to get him to stop. He doesn't want to stop because of the mentality I instilled in him. So now he's adopting that philosophy, but on a whole different level, which is where I'll give that to Endeavor. His son took it on a whole different level, but at the same time, as a father, you installed those mentality on him. You gave him that culture or habit.
But again, the initial installation of that culture wasn't a bad thing. If I go to my son and I want him to learn how to play football, wait.
The reason why it was a bad thing is because he did it not from the standpoint of I'm just gonna make you get to your potential. No, I'm trying to tap you to your potential to surpass the guy I could surpass. So to me, that was with the wrong intention.
No, bro, no, I don't disagree. I disagree with that because again, let's use the football analogy. Let's use basketball, right? Like I want you to be better than Michael Jordan, better than LeBron. I want you to be the best because I used to be a basketball player and I wasn't better than those guys, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna push you to be the best you can be. But now you get this injury, right, on your leg, let's say, and now the doctor says, yeah, he needs to take it easy. If he keeps training on that leg, he will lose that leg forever. And then now I'm just like, all right, there's other stuff in life. I'm trying to talk to you. Hey, there's more than just basketball. I know that's what I wanted, but you can't do it. You have an injury. You can't do this. Like, I'm just saying, it's a hard conversation.
I know, but I'm just saying, all
what else is he supposed to
do? Lead to him, he's not a good dad. He is a dad that is working on becoming good. But he ain't a good dad.
I don't think so.
He hasn't done enough to earn this yet.
I think he has, man. He's down there trying to kill himself, trying to redeem himself, bro.
I don't think so.
He is, bro. He's putting his life on the line, bro.
Those were years and years of trauma that he installed. Just because you start now, those were years and years of trauma, Todd. Come on now.
I guess, bro.
That was trauma, he said. They got PTSD.
Nah, yes, some of them.
If you can't just...
Nacho ain't got no PTSD.
Just because you turn around today and be like, I'm a good person, and I start working my way, there's still years of trauma that you did to your kids that to me, your kids can be like, Dad, we respect you for trying, but when I was younger, as growing up, you were a bad father. Now you are a trying father trying to be good, but there's still more that you're going to have to do, which is why the other brother still was at arm's reach. I don't believe this. I'm not buying this. I think you're bullshit. Because he's just like, you're just going to revert back to being who? Exactly.
Yeah, I'm willing to give his dad a chance. That's not on Endeavor.
Yes, it is. What do you mean?
I'm saying at that point, if he's not willing to give his dad a chance after he's shown multiple times at that point, at least in the series there.
There was a point in the movie when I was watching the anime, I was like, come on, bro, give your dad a chance. But at the same time, if I grew up in those conditions, we only seen it from Endeavor's more perspective of him trying. But if we saw it from the conditions of the kids, we would grow with that hate in our heart, which is why one of the kids really grew with that hate.
I guess I'm taking it. I feel like you're taking it more from the father's perspective because I feel like you can relate more to that.
Yeah,
but I feel like I'm taking it more at the kid's perspective because I know how my relationship with my parents were and how things kind of growed and changed over time. And I feel like Nacho just shut out of the idea when Endeavor realistically, I don't think was so bad a dad to warrant never giving him a chance ever and be like, no, you're cut off.
Yeah, but if it's okay, think about this, right? How old is not Dabi, Todoroki?
Todoroki? I think he's like 16 at the start of the series.
How old is the other one?
He's like 2 years older than him. I think he's like 18 around there. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Already. He's like pretty much 18, 19, 20 years into his life. It's not like your dad changed while you was 11, 10, 12. That would be different. But now you're about to get a full job, you're not a hero. You're into the regular world. At this point, I'm not trying to hear what you're trying to say. I'm trying to go in my own life. Thank you for trying, but where were you when I was 11 and 10 and needed you to be this good person? That's the whole point.
I guess I can understand. All right, fair enough. Out of here, bro. Out of here.
Hey, if you guys are enjoying this, man, let us know. We're loving to do more of these at the cons. And yeah, we'll see you with the next guest.
Yeah, let us know.
All right, so we got another taker for the hot take board. Endeavor's a good dad. What is your opinion on that right there?
So, like I told you before, I don't think that he's a bad dad anymore. I won't say that he's the best dad, but I can see he's a dad trying to improve, and I can appreciate that. Now, my hot take of that is Endeavor is probably one of the better adults on the show.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that. A lot of these other adults are straight up like putting these kids in deathly situations.
Yeah,
like every single episode.
There's a very few of them. I know I always say it and it's a joke, but at the end of the day, the true villain of the show is fucking All Might.
Ooh, I haven't heard that one yet.
Yes, All Might's the true villain. You cripple a whole society to depend on you. And don't see what's wrong with that. That's the most narcissistic. If it was any other brand of show, we didn't come into the show like thinking like, oh no, All Might is so awesome, All Might's so great. We would think this thing was a he's like a nega Superman, like literally. He is Superman, but at least Superman is not making it have to be, everybody has to depend on me. Superman's like, hey, I'm good, but you know, there's also other people, and I'm always gonna be fair. All Might has basically made it is like, you're never gonna fucking figure out how to run society unless I'm still a part of it. And now I gotta find a successor. Why the fuck?
I mean, I don't think he's necessarily going into it with that mentality. I think All Might saw a need, right? He's like, hey, there is this desire, this fear that people have, right? And you need somebody who can overcome this massive level of fear, and I want to be that person. But where he miscalculated now, to your point, is now everybody over relies on him to where, like, if he's gone, everything else crumbles apart, which is
And it's
true.
not like that's something he didn't know was happening. He actively knew that was happening and then think to stop that earlier on. And now you're relying on freshman high school kids to fucking figure it out for us.
But, sorry, play devil's advocate a little bit here, because I'm kind of agreeing with you a little bit, but I'm thinking through it. Like, if he understands how the quirk works, right, all for one, or one for all.
I'm not talking about the quirk.
No, but
the quirk is fine.
No, I'm saying
it's
in relation
the way
to
he decided to use his influence and not try to make sure that the other heroes were living up to his standard.
No, for sure.
Because my thing is, why aren't we making sure, hey, if you're gonna be an agency, it has to be up to the standard. It's not, I can't fix it, so I'm gonna wait for somebody else. No, nigga, you a hero at the end of the day. You get your ass in there and figure out how to fucking get it done.
No, of course, but if One For All works the way it does, where each iteration gets stronger and stronger and stronger, I can at least see All Might's mentality with like, hey, the person coming after me is going to be even stronger than me. They'll be able to do more. The person coming after them will be even stronger than them, be able to do more. Now, is it naive and idealistic? Yes, 100%. But in the same regards, I can at least see maybe where the mentality was coming from.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about his quirk. His quirk is fine. The way he uses his quirk is fine. It's the way he used his influences that's the issue.
No, that's what I mean, though. I mean, I think the quirk is related to his influence because of the very nature of it having to be passed on. So he has to use his influence in a way in relation to his quirk.
But he let his influence be the governing factor almost to a point of a level of a god.
That is true.
That
he did have a god complex.
I say that the rest of the hero society were no more better than average, a little bit more than what? An average fighter? They were a little bit more than an average fighter. The beginning scene is the most terrifying. The beginning first episode when they're fighting the sludge monster shows you how bad the society has gotten. And they're all sitting there like, they're basically like going to let Katsuki die. Because they's like, oh, my power can't fit this, my power can this, oh my God, they literally forgot the beginning fact of being a hero. Bitch, you gotta be a problem solver to be a hero. At the end of the day, you have to pitch yourself at risk and be a problem solver. How many firefighters do you know be like, oh, well, I'm not that good with that much smoke inhalations. I'm gonna let somebody who's better at that. No, they just take it. They be like, fuck it, somebody's about to die. Let me get my ass in there 100%. As fast as possible.
Which, you know who goes on to, who would never do that? Endeavor. Now, because Endeavor, he was, hey, I'm gonna figure it out no matter, I got fire for that.
And that's why I said he's one of the better examples of a hero. He, to me, should have been the #1 hero at the beginning of the start. Because him, Aizawa, even Fat Gum, they're not, oh, we can't figure this out. There's like, at the end of the day, I'm a hero. And my job is to save people, even at the cost of my own.
Totally, no, I completely agree with that.
A lot of other heroes are very selfish. And when they be like, well, I can't do it, let me step back. And it took a kid reminding them how to be a fucking hero.
Now, I got one last thing for you I'm interested in, because this is one of my older hot takes. But do you think, in that case, that Stain was justified in his actions against the Hero Society? Because Stain kind of has a similar mentality to you.
Yes and no.
Yeah, okay.
I agree with Stain's mentality. I don't agree with his approach.
Gotcha.
I do agree that the Hero Society was, at this point, is as bad as our Influence Society. And when you have something look at how Influence, how much it started off as a good thing, and now literally we can't figure out who the hell to trust anymore.
That is true. That is very true.
And that's how the hero society it became overflood, and it became way too lackadaisical. And everybody was like, "Oh, be a hero, be a hero, be a hero," because I have a court. Baby, there's a bunch of other jobs outside of being a hero.
And they
the
got
fact
bad
that they don't
motivations.
glamorize the other jobs, and that's the problem. That's even our problem in our society nowadays. Nobody thinks about that these jobs are heroic jobs, and we need to really put our focus into the menial craft jobs. That's why our labor market is as bad as it is. So my hero is very much a reflection on societies, current societies.
That classism.
My thing is people forget and they only think of the fights and stuff, and that's why I have a problem with just loving anime for its animation, because you forget the stories that stories that they're trying to convey, and you don't pay attention to that.
All the deeper
and these
layers.
stories are very important to listen to. It's important just as much as we are so about the Marvel storylines and how they got to keep to the stories. It's the same as the animes.
Speak your truth, girl. I love it. I love it. I'm right there with you.
Those are my hot takes.
There you go. Thank you very much for coming up.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. And we're back at it again here with our next guest to come and give his take on whether Endeavor is or is not a good dad. What is your opinion, kind sir?
I don't think he's a good dad. I think towards ending, he's working there, but in general, as like the whole story, I just don't think he's a good dad.
Well, I'm talking about, I think, like, when I say is, I mean currently, right?
Currently, no.
Is he now? Because I think he's done enough to redeem himself, right? Because he's admitted his faults, he's working on reconciling with his family, he's not even asking for forgiveness. He's like, let me just show you, I will do everything I can to, you know, essentially live up to what I did wrong, live up to all my mistakes I made.
I see your point, but I just think the past that he had with his kids, especially Dobby, and maybe like Todoroki, is like, I just don't think that's for me personally, I just don't think it's a forgivable past to do, especially with like all the neglect with Dobby and then like the force with Toby and his powers, or not Toby, I'm sorry.
Shoto.
Yeah, Shoto, sorry. It's too many in my head right now. But I just think, like, he's right now, I see the work and I see the effort, but in general, with that kind of past for those two characters, not the brother and not the sister, I just don't think he's a good father. I just don't.
Well, let me ask you then, with Toya in particular, what more, or what would you have wanted Endeavor to have done in his relationship with Toya?
When though? Like current or like as in the
kid,
past?
when he was
as
like
a kid?
First raising him.
With Toya?
Like, where did he fail in your eyes there?
Probably the neglect, honestly.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because I think he spoke to his son. He said as much. Because he says, after he found out his actual quirk, right?
Okay.
He says, I don't know what else to say. I've spoken to him every single day, but he won't stop. Right?
Yeah.
And if you look at the panel, he gets down on his knee and he says, please stop. There's other stuff here. Hang out with your siblings. Make friends at school. There's more than just this hero stuff, and you know this. And Toya just refuses.
But that's also, what you're saying word for word is also like showing Toya like, he's like doubting his dreams because he wanted to impress his father into being like a hero, being like a powerful character. But like you saying for him to what's it called? Oh my god, the quote that you literally just said.
Basically just focus on the other things in life.
Yeah, except instead of being like the hero or like focusing on your power. I just think trying to like force your kid, your son,
give up on their dream.
To give up on their dream, basically. I just don't think that's a good...
This is gonna come out of left field, but there is a movie, Monsters University. I should remember that. The whole point of that story, and I think it's a really underappreciated movie for what it was going for.
Yeah.
You have this kid, Mike Wazowski, right?
Yeah.
He wants to become a scarer.
Yeah.
He puts in the work, he goes to school, he has all the intelligence for it, but he's just not scary. It's just not in him. And he ends up having to say, hey, where can I use what skills I do have to fit in this role, right?
Okay.
And I think it's the same thing for Toya. idea. His quirk it's just not in him. He can't do it. He has to find something else to fulfill that dream. And that's what Endeavor was trying to drive him home, and he just refused to listen.
You see how you bring up Monster University though, right? Mm-hmm. Now Monsters Inc. He scares the kid. Oh no, actually, wasn't it? Oh my God.
Mike Wazowski?
Yes, Mike Wazowski was the last one to scare when they set up the plan with Sully.
No, he wasn't.
He didn't.
He had Sully.
Okay, he didn't.
He just guided him through it.
I see what you're saying, and I see what you're saying. But I feel like that's just a little different. No, it's not. Okay. Wait, you might have won this a little bit. I might be convinced just a little.
Let's go.
Just a little.
Okay, that's all I asked. That's all I asked.
All right.
I appreciate you coming in. Thank you for your takes. I really appreciate the kind of light you shown on this. I feel like you came at it from a really interesting perspective.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it for opening my mind on it a little bit though. But I still feel like I think I'm being biased towards the whole fan base of it being a bad dad, but I see the points.
It's all right. The seed is planted.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think.
Wait, I forgot. So basically, I feel like Endeavor at this point in the show, which is what I'm caught up on, I don't think that he's fully redeemable. I can understand how, he's done things for noble reasons, but I feel like his anger, his ego, all of that wrapped into the fact that he's been abusing his family for quite some time. I feel like if the redemption had started a little earlier, I could understand, but because it's coming so late in the show from the perspective that I've had of him, it's just like, I don't care what he does anymore. I can't see him as being good. Maybe season 8 might change my mind. I'm very excited for it.
No, I hope so. So like I said, I want to avoid spoilers since she hasn't kind of caught up here. But here's what I'm getting into. The key word there is perspective. Because I feel like a lot of this we look at from the perspective of Shoto, which is fair for the most part, for sure. But I do think there is another side to look at it from that can at least make it a little bit more understandable as to where his mind was at and why he made certain decisions. Because with Toya, for example, right? You know about Toya, right? Mm-hmm. I forget where the anime kind of cut off with this. But we know essentially his quirk hurt himself, right?
Yeah.
So from a young age, before his quirk even manifested, Endeavor, maybe a little overzealous, he's like, yeah, you're gonna be a hero, you're gonna do this, I have high hopes for you, et cetera, et cetera. And he's kind of, hyping his son up, which I don't think is a bad thing. Mm-hmm. But then when his quirk does manifest, and he's like, oh, you're gonna burn yourself alive, what does he do? He immediately tells him, hey, stop this, right? And the actual moment is very heartwarming. He's just like, please, son, don't hurt yourself. There's other things. Go be friends with your siblings. Make friends at school. There's a whole world out there outside of being a hero. And what does Toya do? Continue doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. What does his mom do? Nothing to help, legitimately. She has literally the perfect quirk to stop him from hurting himself. But every single day Endeavor comes home, he's still burning himself again, new bruises, injured again, every day. To the point where that scene we were just talking about where he was discussing Shoto, he was at his wit's end. He's like, I've talked to him every single day. I don't know what else to do to stop him from hurting himself, right? And with the logic here, I don't agree with the logic per se, but he thought to himself, hey, if I have more kids, right? Maybe if I can figure this out, get this quirk perfection marriage done, then Toya will have to give up on this because his sibling will be the one fulfilling this role. So he won't feel the need to have to be that for me anymore. So again, I understand the logic there and what he was going for. Did he go about a lot of things wrong? For sure. Not arguing that whatsoever.
I feel like that's my biggest point is that, like you said, I can understand that his intentions are noble. He's coming from a good place, but that easily got twisted into something negative and it ended up into years long worth of trauma. So even if the intent is good, the outcome isn't always. And I feel like that can also really reflect a person.
No, 100%. But what I would say to that, though, is if you do genuinely have good intentions, and maybe he got misguided along the way, does that make you unforgivable? I feel like he should at least be allowed to have that redemption arc, And he's going through, he took accountability, I feel like. He told his family, hey, you don't need to forgive me, but I'm gonna do what I can to make amends, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like at this point where he is now, he's working on it, I think he's gotten there. Now, of course, that's up to really Shoto and Natsu and Fuyumi and them to really decide for themselves. Fuyumi's already forgiven him. Shoto's essentially already forgiven him too, at least being willing to work with him on that, right? But not to, you know, kind of hold out here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm saying, like, at least to me, that is enough to persuade me that I'm just like, okay, I can think he can be forgiven at this point.
You know, I'm glad it's working out with him and his family. I feel like that's good for his character, and I feel like I like that. That's what makes him so complex. Is, you know, he's done all these things for a good reason, but in the end, he still have done many horrible things for that. And for me, from my perspective on things and how things like that work, it's just like I don't fully agree with that. I feel like you've done so much more bad than you've done good, even if you were trying to do good. That it's just like. If you know, if things had kicked off earlier, like if I really got to see a larger progression of that redemption, I feel like maybe my opinion would be more influenced. But because it was kind of crunched into the last little bit of like what I've seen, like it just doesn't hit me as deep, you know?
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. But you know, I still appreciate you giving your take here.
Thank you.
So even if I couldn't convince you, you were very solid. Good argumentation on you, so I respect it. I respect it. All right, again, let us know what you think over here.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, good stuff.
No, you good. Go ahead.
All right. So again, we got our last guest today for this take. Is Endeavor a good dad? What is your take on this, my friend?
I don't think Endeavor is a good dad for the first half of My Hero, and you could not disagree on that. I know bum fathers. I have a bum father. Endeavor, you know, those two are like twins. What did he do for his son in the first half? Nothing.
Shoto?
In season 1, his dad was emotionally just not available. Didn't like him. He was a quiet type. He was abusive. He was an angry man.
He was.
Season 2, I know Deku pushes Todoroki uses fire powers because Todoroki wouldn't use them. Why? Because his father is a bum. Bad father. If your father's so good, you would rep his powers. You would rep his name. Todoroki didn't do that for the first 3 seasons. Only because Deku talked him out of it.
Fair enough.
And then let's say that's season 3. Season 6 is when they start talking.
Yes.
That's when Endeavor becomes a good father because he loses his fight against the Nomu. He's like, damn, I almost died. I gotta be a better dad before I lose my son. I can debate. He is a good dad at the end.
All right.
You lose it where you
I
can.
agree with that. No, for sure, because, again, I don't want to say Endeavor was a good dad, but I say he is a good dad, where we are currently.
I'd say he's an okay dad. I wouldn't say he's a good dad. A good dad is a dad who's always there, which he is not.
You don't think right now he's always there?
No, because he's the number, what is he, is he number 1 still currently?
I mean, so it depends on are you in the anime or manga?
I finished the manga, so.
You finished the manga? No, yeah, he retired.
He's already done. In the anime, is he still
in the anime
1?
right now, I think he just got injured. I don't remember if I don't remember if the Dobby fight happened in the anime or not.
No, it hasn't yet.
No?
I think they reveal that he washes his hair white and then it cuts out. I think at that moment right there, he's doing a good dad for Todoroki. He has other kids. This is he a good dad? There's no is to Todoroki. It's just is he a good dad? One of his children go rogue on him and try to kill him. I mean, you have to be honest there.
No, Toyo is an insane brat.
But if he was a better father...
No, I don't think so. I don't think anybody could say Toyo.
You could have.
I don't think so.
He 100% could have.
He's a little psychopath.
He didn't try.
Yes, he did.
Not really.
Yes, he did.
Not
100%.
Really.
He even says it himself. He's like, I talk to him every single day. I don't know what else to do. That is a quote.
If he could burn his son alive with boiling hot water to teach him a lesson, his other son could have caught some hands.
No, he didn't do that. His wife did that.
That was because of him, though.
No, okay, you can't blame him. You can't blame him for something his wife did when he wasn't even there.
No, it was because of his abuse, though.
No, I'm not saying. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the actions of somebody else. They can say she was influenced by him, but she still chose to do that. He didn't do that.
That's for Todoroki. I don't know the other two's names. I forget their names.
There's Fuyumi and then there's Natsu. The brother's Natsu. Fuyumi's
Is he
sister.
ever in their lives besides childhood? Once they become like adults and they don't have fire powers, he's like, I don't love you guys.
When their quirks manifested, he did kind of leave them alone, essentially.
Is that making him a good? And then, again, he picks up in the end.
Yeah, I'll say he was a neglectful father. He was a neglectful father. I would 100% agree with.
I think as of right now, he's an okay father. I can agree that he isn't a good dad. A good dad is someone who's always there. Well, I wouldn't know. My father's a bum. A father, debatably, is always there, takes care of their kids, and is emotionally available.
For sure.
Most dads, shut off. They're the man. He did none of that for his kids until it was really too late. I mean,
I mean, it is late. It is late. Don't get me wrong.
Especially in the manga, he did it too late. He took too long.
Yeah, because my thing is, right now, I think he would drop everything to do anything for his kids, especially right now.
Especially right now.
Even the conversations he's had, he's essentially said, hey, you don't have to forgive me. I'm gonna do what I can to try and remedy this, right?
Yeah, true.
And judge me by my actions. If I screw up, if I mess up, ignore me, leave me alone, don't even interact with me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do what I can. And to me, that is the mark of a man who's trying to be a good father. And I think he's doing it.
I just think a mixture of what he did and what he's doing, you can't combine both aspects of that life and say he's a good dad still. I mean, if you look at everything he's done to his kids, to his family, to like just to people around him because of how he acted, I cannot consider him a good dad. Maybe he's an okay dad. You know, he's trying. He is trying. Especially what you said now. He's like, oh, guys, please understand. I'm trying my best. If I'm doing this, ignore me. He is trying to be a good dad. He just doesn't reach that level where I can be like, yeah, Endeavor is one of the best anime dads.
I wouldn't say he was one of the best. I wouldn't go that far.
I wouldn't say he's good, but like a good anime dad I can think of, Endeavor. I would never think of him popping into my head. Not a lot of people pop in my head, but he is definitely not one of them.
I guess. Who would you say is a good dad from any that you can think of?
If I'm gonna headcanon it, everyone thinks my guy is Rockley's father. At the end of the day,
fair enough.
My guy, even as a father figure, he is an amazing man.
That is true. I'll give you that.
He nursed Rockley from. He was like, you have no anything. I'll help you. I'll get you where you gotta be.
And he did it again when he broke his legs and everything.
And he was crippled. He was like, hey, you want to learn some more stuff? I don't need to walk. Watch this. Another good dad. Broly's father in both incarnations is pretty good dad. I mean, they were kicked off of Planet Vegeta. They were left to die. I would hate my son. He's better than I am. I would hate my son. The fact that he left his son alive, that makes him a good dad. Him and his son fought until he died both times. But he fought to the end for his son. Especially in Super, I mean, he even recouped with Frieza just to get his son a better life.
Fair enough.
Did Endeavor get him a better life? Not really. All that money now, but all that money before, where's that going to now?
Yeah, back then, first of all, they were rich. Not that really makes up for a lot of things. No, I'm saying they were at least rich. Their needs were taken care of. They had people to look after them. So I'm like, it's not like they were destitute.
That's kind of the father's job.
No, of
take
course.
Care
Don't
of
get me
children.
wrong. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, again, him paying someone to take care of your child, that doesn't make him a good dad. That makes him a good caretaker because he has someone to watch you.
Yeah, to an extent. But I'm saying let's say like a military dad. We were using this example earlier.
Okay, that's
you have a military dad, right? You wouldn't necessarily call him a bad dad because he's not at home to take care of his kids. It's what he does when he's there.
True. But when Endeavor's there, he's just beating on his kids.
No, he wasn't.
For most of the time.
No, he wasn't. It was only Shota and it was training. And it was intense and more than what was necessary.
He could have included the other two who wanted to train.
They were going to hurt themselves. That was the whole point.
Well, he didn't really explain that way. He's like, no, I hate you. I like him better.
No. They knew why. They can justify whatever reason, but they weren't able to. He
explained it better as a father. Again, making him a good dad.
I guess.
Again, I could say he's a great dad sometimes. Near the end, he showed why he is a good father. But it was just too late in the game. And again, you can't mix what happened then and what's happening now. Because at one point there's a bridge where he becomes like a great dad. But again, it's too late. For people who read the manga, I don't want to spoil it.
I'm sorry, we've been spoiling all
when he dies. Is he a good dad when he dies?
I think so.
He lets his son kill him. I mean, that makes him a pretty good dad.
No, Endeavor?
Yeah.
He doesn't die. He doesn't die, dude.
I thought he died of Dobby.
No, he goes to visit him like every single day up until he dies. But we don't know when specifically it happened. But it's kind of implied that between then and the time.
I read a leak and then I forgot. I was mixing the leak up with the actual.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I just think he couldn't be classified as a good dad, but he is, I say an excellent dad. I don't think excellent's better than good in some instances. Because he was there financially. He was a hero. Let's think about it realistically. If you're a superhero, you really have no time. If everything's all if everyone else has powers, there is no time to be home. But when he was home, he didn't make the most out of it for his family.
Fair enough.
He made the most out of it more for himself.
Gotcha. All right, man. I do appreciate the opinion here. For contributing.
Of course.
And again, for you guys, if you are ever at one of these cons, make sure you come swing on by. We might have a new hot take for you to come and discuss with us, all right? Leave us in the comments what you thought about this one here.